All right, so Ian, what are you doing here? Yesterday you were at Rage Against the War Machine. Today you were here at Rescue the Republic. What brought you here?
I mean, the world brought me here. It's like the world is so wrecked right now that I can't imagine anywhere else to be, because everyone's feeling this call to do something, and finally enough people heard it at the same time, and enough people organized something where we're at least rallying around most of the most important issues. So fortunately I'm seeing all the best people here, because everyone gets it that like nothing's perfect, but we're putting something together because we're running out of time. We gotta do something to rescue the Republic, so to speak.
Okay, so what do you think we can do to rescue the Republic?
What we can do? We can do a lot of things. The most important ones are getting educated for yourself, thinking for yourself,
right,
talking to your friends and family members in a genuine, intentional way that is not based in emotions and
right,
partisan thinking and proving someone right or wrong, but just people, and getting healthy for yourself. And there's a lot of others, but this one is important to talk about. It's kind of been queuing into me more and more today, because the dishealth from our
right,
food is in our endocrine systems. It's in our, and
right,
your hormones are like the base place where all these chronic diseases are coming from, and that's what's being disrupted by most of the food poisons. And
right,
your hormones determine your emotions. And when your hormones are out of balance, your emotions are out of balance. And when your emotions are out of balance, how can you have a complex and thoughtful discussion that does not devolve into hatred or fear or whatever else, right? So they're hitting us from multiple angles, and it's all divisive. But getting healthy is one of the surest ways to not only create peace within yourself, so that you're not like ego attacking everyone else, but also to create health within yourself so that you can regulate your own emotions and have real discussions with other people.
You know, that's really interesting, because the whole healthy at any size thing, I talk about this all the time. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. It was such an incredible anti-science crusade. Now, do you think, as some people do, that these ideas are really pushed by the deep state to make people weak and unhealthy? Or do you think it's simply the food companies trying to sell more crap to people and the clothing companies trying to sell more stuff?
I think it is all of the above and more, and it's obvious when you think it through. There are 8 billion people on this planet, and every single one of them is trying to do something, like start a business, do their job, run a global conspiracy, whatever it is, right? And so there are some groups of people who are interested in profiting off of selling you the food. There are some groups of people that are interested in profiting off of selling you the Ozempic.
Right.
But there are some groups of people that are interested in you being a docile worker slave that does not challenge the establishment government system. And the best way to do that is to make you unhealthy, unhappy, depressed, medicated, and angry at the other side, who is actually not that different than you. And so you're right. Healthy at every size was the first, like, obviously anti-science take that they presented us with, and they've given us several others since then. And that's just obviously not true. Healthy is healthy is healthy is healthy, and that involves physical fitness, emotional fitness, mental fitness. And there's really no, like, we're not changing the definitions on that. Like, we all know what that looks and feels like.
All right, last question, because this is really interesting what you're saying. You're talking about a kind of post-partisanship, getting away from that. Now, a lot of, in the 60s, when you had this kind of political ferment, when people gave up on politics, they got into health food, they got into yoga. Do you think that movement, which is a growing movement, and your success is an example of that, as part of the reason you blew up, do you think that's because people are giving up on politics? Because you seem to be advocating that it's a way to have a healthier politics.
I don't think so. And there's a whole fun conspiracy rabbit hole that we're not going to actually go down, but we'll tease it right quick.
All right.
Is that in the 60s, there was a healthy anti-war protest movement that was very buttoned up and very put together.
Right.
And then there was a bunch of CIA researchers with these nice little drugs in their MKUltra laboratories, and there was this place called Laurel Canyon where all these bands started to pop up engaging in this new hippie culture, which I subscribe to my whole young life. I fucking love it. But you start to put dots together and you realize, like, wait a minute, maybe the hippie movement was not actually the genuine point. Maybe the hippie movement was actually like a subversion campaign, and there's a fair bit of evidence to show that there's an element of that. And I think that these days we're getting wise to those subversion campaigns. We're sharing that information on the internet, and this time I believe we won't do it perfectly, but we're more prepared to take these sort of like freeing ideas of health, communication, freedom, liberty, and actually go in the right direction with them, God willing. If we stay focused, stay vigilant, and stay together.
Please clap.